I'm hankering for some gyoza right now. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So, that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Season 2, Episode 1 of Dorohedoro. This has been a long time waiting. We have been waiting for Season 2 ever since the first season aired back in 2020. That's right, this series actually started at the early portions of the pandemic. It was a huge series for that time, and I think a lot of people really got into it because of, not having as much to do, and this series dealing a lot with just, let's be honest, pure insanity is kind of something that I feel like a lot of people could appreciate and enjoy during a time of, pure insanity in the world. And so we have been waiting for this ever since, and it was just a matter of time. It finally got announced, I think, 2 years ago at this point, and we've just been waiting since the announcement for an actual release date, and now it's finally here. This is obviously replacing the Darwin incident for Tuesdays, so going forward, we'll be getting to this. Now, the first 3 episodes released at once. All 3 of them released together, and I don't know if there was a specific reason for that, maybe just because of how long of a wait it already was, but we are still going to be just doing 1 episode per week. This is just basically a way to where I'll always be ahead, I guess. Helps out with that for Patreon and all. But yeah, this series was really, really just an absolute breath of fresh air, because so many shows out there try to be normal. They try to tell a normal, average, everyday story, and it's a lot of them are really good at it. But sometimes you just need a show that's going to just be batshit insane for the sake of being batshit insane. And, yes, there's a story to Dorohedoro. Obviously, Cayman wants to get, all of the information about who the man in his mouth is, and how to, get his head turned back from a lizard head. There's all of the lore going around with the sorcerers and the hole. You have N being the cutest little cat dad ever, while also being an intimidating villain and master of mushrooms. It's he has many hats. He wears many hats. You have Noe and Shin being just amazing in every way. I love them so much. You just have so many great characters. Nikaido is probably my favorite. Not only is she just buff as fucking hot, but I also just like that she's, a cook. She's a good friend to Cayman. she has a lot of darkness in her past, especially we found out by the end of season 1. But I'm just very excited to see more of what this can really give to us in terms of the insanity. I feel like there's a lot that we're going to learn here in season 2, and I'm hoping that we start to like make some progress. But I'm also just like excited for the insanity. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, we are watching this in dub. If you're not a fan of dubbed anime, that's perfectly fine. You have every right to not be a fan of dubs if you want to. But I watched the first season in dub. And so I'm going to watch this season in dub. So, yeah. And if you're wondering, by the way, I searched on your channel, I can't find season 1. That's because I didn't react to it. Dorohedoro was a series that at the time I was watching on my own because of the pandemic and everything. I just wanted something that I could just enjoy for my own time, to especially deal with all the shit happening in the world. And so Dorohedoro was one that I watched for myself. And I was kind of debating whether or not I was going to react to season 2 or once again watch that on my own. But I figured I do want to react to it. I do want to share in the insanity with you all and have some fun. I don't know what the opening for this season is like. I haven't seen it ahead of time. I've purposely stayed away from all spoilers since season 1 aired. And so yeah, I don't know exactly what to expect on any of that front in terms of the opening or any kind of like future storylines or anything. But I'm very, very hopeful that the opening at least is as good as season 1's. Because season 1's opening is iconic. It's just iconic. So yeah, I think we should get into this and see what this first episode of the new season has in store for us. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I was wrong about a couple things with the voice cast here. Risu's new voice actor isn't Kaiji Tang, who's Gojo in JJK. It's actually Alejandro Saab, who's like Gabi Maru in Hell's Paradise. He's Chung Xiaoxi in Link Click, and many other things. Alejandro Saab is the new voice of Risu. It looks like mostly everyone else is the same. Shin is actually different, though. Shin was originally voiced by, let me get the name up here again. I had it up and I put my phone down and everything. Shin was originally Sean Chiplock, but now is Griffin Burns. So they changed Shin's voice actor. I didn't like notice that right away. But pretty much everyone else seems to be the same from what we're telling. Alex Lee is still there. Keith Silverstein is still N. Christina Valenzuela is still Ebisu. You have Todd Haberkorn as Kojima. Bryce Pappenbrook is still Fujita. Fujita does have the same VA. Reba Burr is still Nikaido. But we also have like Kaiji Tang is in this apparently as Hiratsuka. I'm not 100% who that is. Let me see if I can find out. Dorohedoro Hiratsuka. Oh, this is one of the Cross Eyes guys. Yeah, this was one of the cross-eyed guys in that portion of the episode. And Haru, who is the wife who we only saw for that flashback briefly, is Annalise Quinones. So that's pretty cool. Um, but we see through this that Nikaido is still under En's contract, and we know that she and Kaiman, departed on good terms at the end of the first season, but we need to figure out a way to save her. And we know Kaiman's probably thinking of it. We didn't even see him this episode. This episode focused on kind of reintroducing us to where everything is, while also getting started on this new threat. These cross-eyed abomination type dudes. They're really creepy, and they look like they're experiments. And they talk about a master and clearly know how to fight sorcerers. But they look like they've been especially trained, and based on their words, they were prepared for Shin and Noe specifically, which is curious to me. They were able to take down Noe without too much trouble, and considering how much of an absolute tank Noe is, that's impressive. And Shin, I mean, basically just let them slice him to ribbons, because he wasn't going to do anything to endanger Noe. And she was in genuinely intense danger. So, yeah. And Kasukabe, as well as having to deal with, they went there to find his wife, because they want to find Cayman. And instead, they end up, coming across these guys, and they get in fights, and I think those two guys are still stuck in the fridge. It's just, a bunch of crazy shit is going down already. We're really just kind of hitting the how would you word this? Hitting the ground running? I think that's the phrase. We're hitting the ground running with this season, not really holding back. And just really going heavy with a lot of the, blood and gore and guts. The one dude is ripped in half and has his guts being munched on by Johnson. Even though it's censored and you don't see any nipples, Noe's titties are pulled out. When her top is ripped open. And mind you, I'm actually kind of glad that it didn't show anything there, because it's not meant to be a sexy scene. It's meant to be actually very upsetting. She's being assaulted. So you're not supposed to really enjoy that moment. As hot as Noe is, it's it's not a sexy moment. And so having it be censored makes sense. It does make sense, and it does work out in that situation. I like seeing that Fujita and Ebisu are have new jobs and stuff. They're just getting by working for N and everything. Ebisu's being a sexy mermaid, and Fujita, I think, was supposed to be a bartender or something. He clearly doesn't trust Nikaido still, which, fair, but she also has the devil contract and can't really help anything right now. She's forced to be subservient, and it's not great. And so the fact that we didn't get any Cayman at all in this episode really makes me think that when he does return, it's probably going to be a big moment. And I'm actually thinking it might not be till episode 3. Maybe that's why we got 3 episodes released right off the bat. They wanted to make sure that we saw Cayman right away, but because of how the story goes, we wouldn't get Cayman until episode 3. So they wanted to release all 3 to maybe deal with this arc, I guess. And to have the return of Cayman probably be at the end. That's my current guess. I might be wrong. He might appear in episode 2. He might not appear in these first 3 episodes at all, for all we know. But that's my current guess. I also don't think Haru is dead. I don't necessarily think she's the master that these guys were talking about, but I think she's probably being kept prisoner in the same way that Noi was taken prisoner. Um, I'm very curious to see where this goes and how this happens. But we also learned that apparently sorcerers have like this organ where if it's like stabbed, it can stop them from using magic and stuff, and that's like crazy. That's that's pretty wild. Um, Also causes, obviously, as we saw, major problems. So yeah, this is a strong start. It's not as wacky as this series can get, but that's because we're kind of starting the season in an already like vulnerable, heavy place. It makes sense. I feel like once like we get going, we'll be able to like return to more of the wackiness and silliness again. And we got a little bit of it here. Like obviously, Ebisu is always wacky and silly because her mind is fractured as fuck. Um, but yeah, it's like I'm very curious to see like more of that aspect too. I'm also hoping to learn more about Nikaido's lore because we did learn in season one that she is a sorcerer and that she like I believe her powers had something to do with time. I don't remember the exact specifications, but she also had some trauma related to it. I don't remember exactly what happened. There was some trauma to where like it's the reason she was hiding being a sorcerer from Cayman in the first place and just not acting like a sorcerer in general. I don't remember what happened. I have a feeling she probably killed someone based on this how this series is, but that's the extent of what I could think of. And I'm not going to look it up right at this moment because I don't know what episode that was exactly revealed in. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to learn more about like all of that with her. I'm definitely interested to see if we get more info on Cayman because last season implied, I don't think it outright confirmed, but I believe it did imply that Ebisu is the one that cursed Cayman to look like, a lizard. Because she did the same thing to Noi last season. Noi actually had a lizard body for a short time. And it was because Ebisu had like gotten high off of it, like enhancing black powder or something that like increased her magic. But yeah, the implication is strongly that she's the one who cursed Cayman. But obviously, with her mind fractured, we're not going to get any information out of her regarding that. So, um, but I hope we find out more about that. I'm curious about the entire stuff with Risu as well. We did get confirmation that those scenes were taking place in the current day after he had already been brought back by Turkey. I did look up Turkey's name. Turkey's name is just Turkey. So yeah, all of that is still going down. Yeah, it's a very fascinating, wacky, and wild series. If you for some reason are watching this without having seen season one, I would definitely suggest going back and watching season one before continuing, because otherwise, yeah, you're going to be just fucking confused. You're just going to be really fucking confused. Also, um, the opening's not as good as season one's, at least not on my first watch. It's still good. It's just season one's opening was iconic and had like such a vibe to it and everything. This one, it's like it's still good. It still has like that creepy, eerie, weird ass vibe, but not quite to the same level. It's a little more restrained, I feel. Which some of you watching this may be like, that's restrained. But yeah, I'm very happy that this was a good start. I'm very happy that this is back in the first place.
and I'm excited to see what happens next. So, uh, tune in next time for more. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.